Greetings friends and welcome back to Recon by Fire. Chris is back in the studio today and he is bringing his Ultramarines playing in the Anvil Siege Force detachment. He's running 2 Vindicators, Calgar leading a 10-man squad of heavy intercessors, a Helverin, an Infiltrator Squad, a squad of Incursors, an Apothecary Biologis leading a Desolation Squad, that's right, a Desolation Squad, squad of JPIs, lieutenant with Combi weapon, captain in Gravis armor, and finally Guilliman himself. World leaders are running the Slaughterbound detachment and are led by Lord Invocatus, a Slaughterbound leading a 6-man squad of 8-bound, a Slaughterbound with the Berserker Warglaive leading a 3-man squad of 8-bound, 2 squads of Chaos Spawn, Kharn leading a 10-man squad of Bezerkers inside of a Rhino, a squad of Jackhals, 3 Forge Fiends, and a Demon Prince on foot. Today's mission is J, Linchpin, mission rule is raise banners, and deployment is search and destroy. For pregame actions, the Incursors will scout into the building. Lord Invocatus will move towards the natural expansion to screen out the backfield. Chaos Spawn are going to follow suit, staying 9 inches away from the Infiltrators. Slaughterbound and company are going to push behind the template. Second squad of 8-bound will scout back into the building. Chaos Spawn are going to scout towards the outer edge to get out of line of sight, but threaten the natural expansion. Top of round 1, and the Ultramarines are going first. They will draw Secure No Man's Land and Cleanse as their secondaries for the turn. World leaders score Dev Wounds and sustain hits as their blessings. Oath of Moments are going to be the Jackhals on the objective, and the Guilliman Oath will be the Chaos Spawn near the Infiltrators. Start of the movement phase, Infiltrators are going to push inside the building but remain on the objective for Cleanse. Lieutenant with Combi weapon will move on to the point to also cleanse. Helverin will reinforce the Lieutenant, adding OC to the point. Vindicator is going to move behind the wall to stage for next turn. Calgar squad will remain in place and stage for next turn. Guilliman currently has Lone Op and will push forward to taunt the enemy. Desolators are going to fire indirect from across the board at the Jackhals on the World Leader's home objective and manage to take down 4 of them. That is going to end the turn for the Ultramarines. They'll score 4 points for Cleanse, 5 points for Secure No Man's Land, and 1 point for raising a banner. Bottom of round 1, and the World Leaders will draw Call the Horde, which can be scored off of Calgar squad, and bring it down as their secondaries for the turn. Start of the movement phase, and the Chaos Spawn are going to go after the Infiltrators. Lord Invocatus is going to reposition to screen out the backfield. For some strange reason, World Leaders decide they are going to go for it, and the large 8-bound squad will push towards Calgar. Chaos Spawn score a 1 on the advance roll and move in on the lone Combi Lieutenant. This will trigger its reactive move and it will push further away. Rhino will score a 6 on its advance and pushes all the way up to the Chaos Spawn. Forge Fiend is going to move forward to get line of sight on the Helverin. Now that the home objective is sticky, the Jackhals are going to move off of it and out of range of the Desolators. Not having any good targets, the Forge Fiend is going to screen out the backfield. If we're going for 1 8-inch charge, we might as well go for 2, and the second 8-bound push forward as well to go after the Incursors. Demon Prince on foot has Lone Op and -1 damage, he'll be fine. Lastly, the Forge Fiend will push towards the center as well to potentially threaten an Overwatch. Start of the shooting phase, both Forge Fiends will fire into the Helverin, knocking off 6 wounds. Start of the charge phase, and the 8-bound will attempt to charge Calgar's unit. They fail. They'll use the Demon Prince's discount for a free command reroll and fail yet again. Smaller 8-bound squad into the Incursors fail their charge. Chaos Spawn will fail their charge into the Lieutenant with Combi weapon. But thankfully, the second squad of Chaos Spawn do make it into the Infiltrators. Start of the fight phase, the Chaos Spawn will swing into the Infiltrators. Ultramarines are going to Armor of Contempt here, and they lose only a single Infiltrator. They will crack back but fail to score a single wound. At the end of combat, Ultramarines are going to spend a command point on Rigid Discipline to fall back onto the objective, taking it away from the Chaos Spawn. That is going to end the turn for the World Leaders. They will fail to score either of their secondaries and discard them both for a command point. Top of round 2, and the Ultramarines will draw Marked for Death and defend Stronghold. They'll use New Orders on Marked for Death and draw Containment as their secondaries for the turn. They control 3 objectives and will score 13 points on primary. Primary oath is the Forge Fiend, and secondary oath is the large 8-bound squad. Start of the movement phase, and the captain in Gravis armor will pop out of the building. Vindicator is going to reposition to have line of sight on the Forge Fiend. Incursors will push towards the center objective. Lieutenant with Combi weapon will move out of harm's way. Helverin is going to reposition wholly within the building and to move block the Rhino. This will trigger its reactive move, and the Bezerkers will disembark. Calgar and the heavy intercessors are going to push out towards the center of the board. World leaders are going to spend a command point to fire Overwatch with the Forge Fiend, and it manages to pick up a Vindicators guard and an Intercessor. Vindicator is going to arrive from reserves with eyes on the Bezerkers. Start of the shooting phase, the Incursors will fire on the Forge Fiend. They fail to score a wound, but it is now +1 to hit. Vindicator will open fire on the Bezerkers, taking down 2 of them and wounding a 3rd. This will trigger their blood surge, and they will surround the Helverin on the point. Helverin will fire into combat, taking down another 2 Bezerkers. Second Vindicator will fire into the Forge Fiend and absolutely vaporizes it. Calgar and company will activate next, getting sustained hits 1 for free thanks to Guilliman, and fire into the large 8-bound squad. They manage to take down 3 of them. Guilliman will fire into the same squad, taking down 1 and wounding another. Infiltrators will throw a grenade on the squad, taking down 1 and wounding another. Desolators are up next, and they fire into the same squad and managing to clean up not only the 8-bound but the Slaughterbound as well. It's charge o'clock, and the captain in Gravis armor will make the long bomb charge into the 8-bound. Calgar and company will make their charge into the same squad. In what I think is a mistake, the world leaders elect not to heroically intervene with the Demon Prince. Gravis captain is up first and will take down an 8-bound and wound another. World leaders are then going to spend 2 CP to interrupt, while Calgar squad will armor of contempt. Slaughterbound will go Super Saiyan and swing everything into Calgar squad, picking up 7 intercessors. The remaining squad in Calgar clap back and absolutely take down the entire squad of 8-bound. Time for ongoing combat. The world leaders will spend their final command point to give the Bezerkers extra AP, and it proves to be enough to take the Helverin down. That is going to end the turn for the UltraMarines. They will score 3 points for containment, and defend stronghold is ongoing. Bottom of round 2 for the world leaders. They will draw behind enemy lines and assassination as their secondaries for the turn. They control 2 objectives and will score 8 points on primary. Start of the movement phase, Chaos Spawn will advance forward in hopes of scoring behind enemy lines and threatening the home objective. Lord Invocatus will prep to take down the Infiltrators. World leaders will spend a CP to give Kharn and company advance in charge. They will beeline it for Guilliman on the center of the field. Chaos Spawn will advance and attempt to cut off the lieutenant's reactive move and push ahead of it. Combi lieutenant will reactive move back towards the edge of the board. Rhino is going to move on to the objective and stay wholly within the building to be able to shoot the lieutenant and potentially charge if needed. Demon Prince will move forward to give himself some options. Forge Fiend is going to reposition to get line of sight on Calgar. Forge Fiend will move wholly within the building. JPIs are going to rapid ingress to reinforce the Infiltrators. Start of the shooting phase, and the Rhino will fire into the Combi lieutenant, scoring 2 wounds. First Forge Fiend will fire into Calgar squad and manages to pick up all the intercessors and the Librarian. Second Forge Fiend fires into Calgar and he tanks it like a boss, taking only 2 damage. Time for charges, and the Demon Prince will make its charge into Calgar. Incursors will blow their landmine, scoring a single mortal on the Demon Prince. Captain in Gravis armor will use its free CP to heroically intervene and get on the point. Forge Fiend will charge in as well to get additional OC on the point. Kharn and the Bezerkers will make the dual charge into both the Vindicator and Guilliman. Invocatus into the Infiltrators, and he's in. And just as insurance, the Forge Fiend is in as well. The Rhino unfortunately fails its charge into the Combi lieutenant. Start of the fight phase, and the Forge Fiend will swing into Calgar squad, doing absolutely nothing. Demon Prince is up next and will strike into Calgar, failing to take the big man down. He just will not go down. Calgar will swing into the Demon Prince on the clapback, and the Demon Prince will return the favor, only taking 3 wounds. Kharn and the Bezerkers will swing into G-Man. He will AOC himself for free, and Kharn rolls subpar, so G-Man will survive at 6 wounds. Guilliman will clap back with his sweep and absolutely demolishes the entire squad. Kharn does get up at the end of the phase at 3 wounds. Gravis Captain takes a swing at the Demon Prince, but scores no wounds. Invocatus into the Infiltrators, and he scoops up the entire squad. That is going to end the turn for the World Eaters. They will score 4 points for having 2 units behind enemy lines, and 5 points for assassination taking down the Librarian. Ultramarines will score 3 points for defending their stronghold. If you made it this far in the video, it would be absolutely fantastic if you smash that subscribe button. Top of round 3, and the Ultramarines will draw behind enemy lines and engage on all fronts as their secondaries for the turn. They only control their home objective and will score 3 points on primary. World Eaters select 6-inch pile-in and consolidate, and sustain hits as their blessings for the round. Start of the movement phase, and Guilliman is going towards the center objective. Calgar will remain in combat to avoid the overwatch. Lieutenant with Combi weapon will jump onto the objective. Vindicator will remain in place for heavy. JPIs will close in on Lord Invocatus. Desolation Squad will pop out to get line of sight on Kharn. First Oath will go on the Forge Fiend. Second Oath of Moment will be the Forge Fiend in combat. Start of the shooting phase, Incursors will fire into the Forge Fiend, making it +1 to hit. Guilliman is going to discount stratagem, giving the Vindicator twin linked, and it fires everything into the Oath Forge Fiend, absolutely pulverizing it. Guilliman into the Forge Fiend leaves it at 10 wounds. Second Vindicator into the Rhino, and it makes short work of it. Desolators will fire into the Chaos Spawn and easily pick them up. It's charge o'clock, and the JPIs make it into Lord Invocatus. Impact Mortals score 3 wounds. Guilliman makes the charge into the Demon Prince. Vindicator makes the charge into Kharn and will tank shock, taking the boss man down. G-Man will strike into the Demon Prince, and a command reroll will keep it alive at just 2 wounds. JPI Power Fist will finish off Lord Invocatus. Demon Prince into Calgar and finally takes the squad down. Captain and Gravis Armor is up next and will avenge Calgar, picking up the Demon Prince. That is going to end the turn for the Ultramarines. They will hold on to behind enemy lines and score 2 points on engage on all fronts. Bottom of round 3 for the World Eaters. They will draw Defend Stronghold and Mark for Death. They'll immediately cycle away Mark for Death and draw Storm Hostile Objective. They control their home and will score 3 points on primary. With only 2 units left and no real way of scoring these secondaries, the World Eaters are going to call it here. That's going to make the final score with paint 30-44 in favor of the Ultramarines, but let's be honest, with 2 more rounds of scoring, they're probably going to score 100. Thank you, Chris, so much for coming out and playing with us, and thank you, the viewer, for watching. If you like what you saw and want to see more of it, share it with a friend and drop us a like, as we would really appreciate it. But until next time, as always, happy gaming.